Welcome, foolish mortals, to my domain. Yes, hello to Disney Central. Well, in case you didn't get my application, my name is Jordan Grant. I'm 26 years old. I live here in Canton, Michigan. And I, of course, am applying for the $1,000 Disney Plus dream job, which I think is understatement of the year, is being a dream job because it is heaven on earth. Now in this video, of course, I have to tell you about what my favorite Disney movie is, and I don't think you're going to expect it. Now, growing up in the early 90s, as I did, you would expect my answer to be, oh, he's going to say The Lion King, the freaking Little Mermaid, even like Toy Story or Aladdin. But I'm actually a little bit more old school than that. The truth is, my favorite Disney movie of all time is actually Mary Poppins. Now, I know you're thinking, what is a 26-year-old dude doing liking Mary Poppins so much, especially when he's got Mickey everywhere? Well, the truth is of three main reasons. Number one is that it was my first Disney memory. I still remember to this day, and it was on repeat a lot in my house. I remember being 4 years old in my room at my parents' house, and I would have Mary Poppins on repeat. But the one part I remember the most was Step in Time, with Dick Van Dyke and the other chimney sweeps dancing along and doing the song. I could do that song so well, not just singing either. By the time I was 4 years old, I would get up and do it with them. Word for word, step for step, action for action. And believe it or not, I'm actually not exaggerating. At 4 years old, I could do that. I had a good memory as a kid. Might have died off a bit, but I'm still working on it. I gotta get back in the swing of things. The second big reason I love that movie is that was the last movie that Walt Disney himself had a true hand in. Walt is one of my idols. I mean, I look up to the man he never grew up and he just stayed that kid forever. And just seeing that one movie where he put his true heart and soul into it, not just in making the movie, but what it took to get it, working with Pamela Travers, working with the Sherman Brothers, having to jump through all these hoops just to get this thing for, 20 years it took him to get this film, maybe even more than that. It was just something amazing to me to see what the most passionate and imaginative man in possibly history, how hard he worked. There's just a resonance and a special kind of Disney magic that flows through that movie. And that's one of the reasons I love it so much. I mean, he just strove for everything, no matter how hard it was. I mean, he even used to say, you may not realize it, but a kick in the teeth could be the best thing for you. And he got kicked a bit making that one. But in the end, it was just so worth it. And it was just incredible to me. The third big reason why I love that movie is that it was a cornerstone in terms of just progressing movies to what they are today. Now, I mean, if you look at it, it is the greatest example from the freaking 60s. The first time a major movie combined live action and animation, as well as all the special effects they throw in with making Mary Poppins magic. Those tricks are even used now every day today, but who knows where we would be if that movie never existed. I mean, we have just everything. I mean, look at us. We now have computer animation and live action combined in almost every movie that's made to this day, to the point where it's ridiculous. We now have incredible scores that are being made by all these great composers. We have all these special effects that now take place in movies, all this magic, and just the fact that so much of a masterpiece could exist with the effects, the soundtrack, the acting itself, the family joy is just something amazing to me. I mean, if it only could be that successful with all those elements, the story that Pamela Travers wrote, Walt Disney getting the rights himself, the production team making it, the Sherman Brothers writing the freaking soundtrack, which I still consider to be one of the greatest full-fledged soundtracks as a whole for movies. And just the effects department working on everything with the animation, creating the characters, the story, even with Mr. Banks himself. I mean, Look at what we have now. We have Saving Mr. Banks, which was the whole story behind it. We have Mary Poppins Returns now, which I was ecstatic to see and I loved it. But without Mary Poppins, and you have to call her Mary Poppins, you have to have both names, because without her, without those characters, those actors, the actresses, you're talking Julie Andrews, Dick Van Dyke, without the Sherman Bros, without Pamela Travers, without Walt Disney, that kind of a masterpiece wouldn't exist. And who knows where our effects could even be if Walt and them never even tried it. This is just a masterpiece. Truly, I agree with it. It is truly the greatest masterpiece that Walt Disney ever made. Leonard Maltin had it right, and he's still right to this day. What they make now, the movies Disney makes now, is incredible. What they can do is something phenomenal, but I agree, it will truly never get better to me than Mary Poppins. I think I dragged on a little bit of luck. Well, I hope you guys have a good luck in picking your winner. I hope to be one of them. Have a good day. God bless and stay magical.